So Mohalla clinics that have been central to the Aam Aadmi Party's welfare model are under the scanner. Delhi LG V K Saxena has sought a CBI investigation into the alleged scam involving fake lab tests and fake patients at the Delhi government-run Aam Aadmi Party Mohalla clinics and referred the matter to the agency. What has emerged is that lakhs of fake pathology and radiology tests were conducted on non-existent patients at the Mohalla clinics and payments were made to private labs in the name of referrals as part of this alleged scam. Now, the LG's office, we understand, has claimed that the scam runs into hundreds of crores of rupees at the cost of the poorest of poor in Delhi. This was an inquiry that was conducted by the Vigilance and State Health Departments at the Mohalla clinics to look into lab investigations that were being outsourced to private diagnostic companies. The inquiry report says payments were made to diagnostic companies against lakhs of fake tests and hundreds of mobile numbers that were duplicated. Of course, the Aam Aadmi Party has refuted these allegations. It could also seek the suspension of the Health Secretary. But this does bring the flagship scheme of the Aam Aadmi Party government under the scanner. When the Mohalla clinics were introduced by the Delhi government, they were seen as small-scale neighbourhood clinics that could provide medical relief to people, particularly the urban poor of the capital who had to otherwise spend hours waiting in queues in crowded hospitals of Delhi. The big difference between a primary health clinic and the Mohalla clinic is that every facility in a Mohalla clinic, including OPD services, testing and medicines, are totally free of cost, with a staff that is completely dedicated to patients. Now, in the face of these allegations, we ask what can be done to ensure public services such as Mohalla clinics are free from the harsh reality of over-invoicing and also that the wrongdoers are held accountable. And what does this mean for the future of Delhi's neighbourhood clinics? Will doctors now think twice before recommending tests? And what does this mean for Aam Aadmi Party and its promises of making welfare systems foolproof? Those are the questions we're asking tonight. But first, let's listen into some reactions. First by Sudhanshu Trivedi, the spokesperson of the BJP, and then Mr. Saurabh Bharadwaj, who's a minister with the Aam Aadmi Party government.
ये जो तथाकथित मोहल्ला क्लिनिक थी, इसके अंदर इन्होंने जांच की व्यवस्था की थी, यानी पैथोलॉजिकल टेस्टिंग की। अब जो विजिलेंस की रिपोर्ट्स आई हैं और जो विभागीय फाइंडिंग्स हैं, उसके आधार के ऊपर वो जांचें भी अब पूरी तरीके से आंच के घेरे में आ गई हैं।
मोहल्ला क्लिनिक अपने आप में एक इंडिविजुअल एंटिटी है, तो कोई बहुत बड़ा तंत्र नहीं है एक दूसरे के ऊपर निगाह रखने के लिए। तो हमने ये वीडियो वाला जो है उसके अंदर ऐप के अंदर डाला था। अब जैसे हर टेक्नोलॉजी का तोड़ निकल जाता है, इसका भी एक तोड़ निकाल दिया कुछ डॉक्टरों ने जो शरारती थे। 7 डॉक्टरों को और उनके साथ जो उनके स्टाफ थे, क्योंकि हमने माना कि सिर्फ डॉक्टर अकेले नहीं गड़बड़ कर सकता। डॉक्टर नहीं आए, उसके स्टाफ को भी पता है 3 लोगों को, और उसकी अटेंडेंस गलत लग रही है उनको पता है, तो उनके साथ मिला के 26 लोगों को इसी तरीके से प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके हमने निकाला था।
Joining us on this debate are Charu, Pragya from the BJP, Nitin Tyagi from the Aam Aadmi Party and Neerja Chowdhury, who is a senior journalist and political commentator. But first, let me go across to my colleague Vedanta Agrawal, who has been tracking this, and our executive editor Marya, Shakil. With Vedant, you know, like you mentioned earlier today, with both Satyendra Jain and Manish Sisodia in jail, clearly the 2 pillars of Aam Aadmi Party welfare model, health and education, have seen an impact. We continue to see this investigation around liquor scam playing out every day. How do you see the latest allegations against Delhi government's Mohalla clinics and also the timing of it? Because, you know, ED is all set to issue 4th summons to Arvind Kejriwal.
That's right, Vasudha. In fact, as you mentioned, health and education have been 2 pillars of the Aam Aadmi Party's welfare model. In fact, Arvind Kejriwal has pitched these very strongly, not just in Delhi, but of course in Punjab as well. In the Gujarat campaign also, he talks about replicating the Delhi model, which is all about health and education. Now, Manish Sisodia was considered the architect of Delhi's education model and subsidized education. He is in jail, of course, in the liquor policy scam because he was the excise minister as well. And Satyendra Jain, the former health minister, who's the architect of the Mohalla clinics, is also in jail in a separate money laundering probe. But the Mohalla clinics themselves are now under the scanner. What is this case all about? You've already mentioned that the vigilance report, which has been picked up by the Lieutenant Governor, and now he's recommended a CBI probe into it as well, has talks about how the scam runs into thousands of crores, how there were fake numbers, some duplicate numbers as well, which were used to benefit private diagnostics. So now this also ties into the larger pattern of allegations that we're looking at, because in the liquor policy case as well, The primary allegation, there are of course multiple strands to it, but the core essence of it is that the now withdrawn new liquor policy actually benefited private vendors and private contractors. That is what the essence of it is. So similar set of allegations here in the Mohalla Clinic, the alleged Mohalla Clinic scam as well. But very importantly, Vasudha, let me also mention here that this ties into the larger standoff between the Aam Aadmi Party government and the bureaucrats that we've been seeing in the past 2 years. There have been a flashpoint over a top bureaucrat, the chief secretary as well, and now the Aam Aadmi Party of course saying that ultimately it's the bureaucrats who come under the Delhi LG who are actually responsible for the day-to-day functioning of the Mohalla clinics, and hence they should be called to book and they should be held accountable as well. Yes, this is the third or fourth scam perhaps in this year, in the past year, that we've seen play out between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. The Aam Aadmi Party continues to say that this is of course the only purpose is to disrupt the Aam Aadmi Party's political electoral campaign.
Right. Marya, so Mohalla clinics have also been promised by Aam Aadmi Party in other states like Vedanta was mentioning. Of course, there is a possibility it might affect the party's expansion or negotiation capabilities within the India Alliance. How is the BJP looking at it? Because I remember even the health ministry had raised some red flags over Punjab government claiming that it was converting Ayushman Bharat wellness clinics into Mohalla clinics.
Look, the more Aam Aadmi Party and its governance model, because it was the Delhi model which Arvind Kejriwal spoke about in Punjab, and the people of Punjab believed that because Delhi model was successful, it was reaching out to the poorest of the poor. Same model can be applied at a larger scale in the state of Punjab. So that model is now being questioned. What the BJP certainly is looking at is that if this kind of campaign of sorts against Mr. Kejriwal's various aspects, be it Mohalla Clinic as you are discussing, Vasudha, and also the education model, if those two aspects are constantly challenged, now that the Lieutenant Governor has gone ahead and said that there should be a CBI probe in it, so if those aspects are challenged, then the people of Delhi will not have faith in him going forward. But if you look at what Arvind Kejriwal is also doing, he has realized that this is some kind of a narrative war. He may not be able to set the right narrative, but he understands that as far as the captive audience of the Aam Aadmi Party are concerned, they may very well be with him in the assembly elections which will happen after the Lok Sabha polls. So I think the way BJP or other opposition parties, because interestingly also, Vasudha, in case of Delhi, the stand that has been taken by the Congress party has been very contrary to what they have said in the context of JMM in the state of Jharkhand. Here, they are saying that if Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have cooperated with the investigating agencies, then why is Arvind Kejriwal not doing so? How is skipping summons really helping the party? So in terms of optics, I think Aam Aadmi Party realizes that they have to ensure that their, the squeaky clean image with which their politics began, that should not be repeatedly impacted the way it has been, first through the Delhi liquor policy and now through this, the alleged scam of Mohalla clinics.
So the question of optics and perception is very important here. Thank you, Marya, and thank you, Vedanta, for joining us. Let me take this question to Nitin Tyagi of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Tyagi, Mohalla clinics were seen as your government's biggest projects in the city, and they've been the center of attention whenever any foreign dignitary would come to the capital. But the inquiry report has presented some major findings in which they say more than 11,000 mobile numbers had 0 digits and over 8,000 mobile numbers were found to be blank, and hundreds of these numbers were found to be non-existent. Now, these are serious charges. How would you counter them?
Absolutely. I understand. See, this kind of work which has been happening in Mohalla Clinic is definitely one of the more popular schemes, and people from all around the world are quite impressed with what Mohalla clinics are able to do in Delhi, and crores of people have taken benefit from Mohalla clinics. Absolutely. Now, coming back to what has happened, and this kind of thing in September, I think on 20th of September, Saurabh Bhardwaj asked for an inquiry. He held a press conference that there are some irregularities in the Mohalla clinics. He talked about it. The officers who were supposed to take cognizance of it, who are supposed to handle it, to manage it. See, the minister is not going to go to every single Mohalla clinic and manage it. It is the officers who manage it. And above the officers comes DGHS. Above the DGHS comes the health secretary. Who appoints the health secretary? From where does he come? Who appoints the DGHS? From where does he come? I think it has been deliberately done. And it is absolutely the perception war. BJP is timing its every gun towards Aam Aadmi Party, taking into account. Actually, they're doing it everywhere in India with the India Alliance partners, and in Delhi they are targeting us definitely. And I think there should be an inquiry, and the officers who are responsible for this kind of act, they should be punished. They should be taken into account, and anybody who has proposed the names of these officers who have, whether it's negligence or whether
But
it's
Mr. Tyagi, would you say
conspiracy,
that the
whether
Aam
it's-
Aadmi Party failed to put in place a foolproof welfare delivery system?
No, absolutely not. It has, what has happened has been done deliberately, and it has been done by the officers that were appointed by the LG.
Okay. Okay, Charu, would you like to respond to that?
And today LG is not talking about those officers.
Yes,
He's
yes.
talking about the government.
Okay.
This is total politics that is happening.
Yes. Charu, would you like to respond to that? He's saying that the officers are responsible for this, and also Aam Aadmi Party has repeatedly said that, this is a political battle and this is a campaign by the BJP against Aam Aadmi Party because the BJP has failed to dislodge Aam Aadmi Party despite arrests of many ministers.
Now, look at the optics of this. It is Manish Chacha who's responsible for every single child's welfare in Delhi schools. But it is not Manish Chacha, but the officers who are responsible that 60% of those schools don't even have science being taught in them, or half of them don't have a principal. The same thing applies to the Mohalla Clinic scam of Aam Aadmi Party. I want to ask you, sir, how is it that you check more than 500 patients in 4 hours? Please tell me, is it possible to check more than
No, definitely
1.5 patients every minute? That's the data that Aam Aadmi Party has provided. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing, you're running a Ponzi medicine scam. Most of the medicines that have been checked for quality that were being given in your so-called clinics were found to be of substandard quality. Now there is this new issue that has cropped up. First of all, if you can supposedly make these Mohalla clinics, why is it that Delhi government has not bothered to make even one lab? Everything is outsourced to private counterparts. These private counterparts are forging documents out of the 5 lakh odd tests that were conducted, Vasudha. Let's remember that over 11,000 had a number listed as 0. 0 is their phone number, and more than 8,000 had no phone number written. So what's the record of the people? And because all of this is being outsourced to private parties, there is no check that can happen unless the Vigilance Department or now the CBI conducts a complete inquiry into the kind of schemes that you're running. You're endangering people's lives. What kind of politics is this? Now, if you wanted to do something for the good of the people, I want to compare your Mohalla Clinic scam to the Jan Aushadhi Kendra. Today, we have more than 10,000 of them. More than 5,300 crore have been saved in cost of medicine for the people of this country. Good medicines, branded medicines are being sold at a fraction of a price. What is Mohalla Clinic doing? Handing out fake medicines, handing out fake reports for blood tests, making money by outsourcing these testings to your private counterparts, siphoning off that money. So tell me one department where you have not cheated the people of this city. Tell me one department.
Let me please tell you something about that.
I am talking on facts, sir. I am not talking randomly. I
No,
will
no,
give
no,
you
no,
numbers.
you are
every
talking-
day.
Mr. Tyagi,
You're
she's making
You
an
have
important
to spend-
point here because, these
Yeah.
some of these red flags were raised even earlier. I remember in 2018, it was found that some
And half
staff
of them are
members
not even open. They
were
are
fraudulently
staff
marking their
not
attendance
Charu, please be
through
quiet. Let me
pre-recorded
hear.
videos. So, so do you think that Aam Aadmi Party could have taken some corrective measures? Because like Charu
Yes,
is saying that this
definitely.
concerns
We have instructed the officers earlier. Also, we have instructed the officers in September, in March, even earlier than. And let me tell you something.
So you
let
are
me
here
tell
to take
Charu
credit,
also.
but the fault
let him
lies in
finish.
your
Charu, let him
officer.
finish. I'll give
No,
you a
I
chance.
find
Let
that
him finish.
problematic.
Charu, be quiet for a minute. Just be quiet for a minute. All the medicines that are bought,
Politely for a minute,
all the
so
medicines that are
credits will
bought
go
are
to
bought from
all your ministers, and all the problem is in the officers. Is that how you wash your hands of all responsibility?
Please, Charu,
Charu, let
be
him finish.
quiet.
I'll give you a chance to respond
What
to
a
that.
convenient
Let's just
stand.
hear him out. Let's just hear
No,
him
what
out.
a
I'll give you a
convenient
chance.
stand.
Yes.
No, Charu, don't be a crybaby.
No, Mr.
When I'm
Tyagi,
talking
You
please.
want to cry baby here, and you want to pass personal remarks and then we pass them against you. You belong to a party that is siphoning off money which belongs to the people of this country. And Vasudha, I need you to step in and stop this man from
Mr.
passing
Tyagi,
his
please,
personal remarks.
please
I
finish
am
your
very
answer.
much
She's
defending
making some
myself
critical
and I will
points.
do
She's
it
asking
till the
you
end of this debate.
if you had the chance to make some corrective measures and why did you not stop?
Yes,
Why did you not take corrective
definitely.
measures? Yes. We'll listen to you and then Charu, I'll give you a chance to respond.
Every single time we have taken corrective measures. these medicines that are being bought through GEM is handled by the central government. Government e-marketing is what GEM is. GEM is handled, it is a portal by the central government. All the medicines are bought, and it is a central agency that procures all the medicines. If any single medicine is fake, it is because of the central government, Charu. Remember that. Remember that always.
Oh, Nitin, that is what a crime
Now,
is.
Mr. Tyagi, you know, Mohalla clinics are supposed to be the Aam Aadmi Party's flagship program,
Let me come back to that. We have time and again reported, made
सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की गलती है, वोटर की गलती है, लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी की कभी गलती नहीं है. That's how a crime becomes.
प्रधानमंत्री जी से कह के,
Okay.
एक ढंग का एलजी लगवा दो प्रधानमंत्री जी से कह के, बहुत अच्छा काम हो जाएगा दिल्ली के अंदर.
Okay.
और काम
Charu,
करना
answer
है.
this question now. Do you think
Just
that...
look at the standard of this debate.
Okay, Charu, do you think
No,
that these
you
allegations
talking
against
about
Mohalla clinics are finally going to change people's opinion about Arvind Kejriwal?
Is that for me?
Yes, Charu, it's for you.
Yes. No, it's already changed people's opinion. See, I'll tell you something. People in this country are very politically astute and they are very wise. And the way the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson is talking right now, you know, it is like they've become this party who only sit there and cry over everything. If their Mohalla clinics was such a game changer, why did they crash and collapse that horribly during the 2 years of COVID in Delhi? Please explain. Was there even one case of COVID that was handled by these Mohalla clinics?
Right, let her finish.
Can
Let her finish.
I'll tell you the expenditure that has been written down. Now, Nitin, I know this is pinching you because unlike you, I'm talking on facts. I'm not roaming around in rhetorics.
Nitin, let her finish, please. Let her finish.
You are making such a privilege, charge you are making, Charu.
Nitin, let her finish. Please let her
So
finish.
in the 2 years of COVID, Vasudha, these Mohalla clinics were not even equipped to store oxygen. They went around crying everywhere, but they put on paper, RTI reply says 85 crores and then 149 crores was spent on Mohalla clinics in the COVID year. Kindly explain that. What were they doing? Because all the news that I remember, the citizens of Delhi remember, is Aam Aadmi Party again crying and saying, किसी और की गलती है जी. धरना देने वाला CM चुनने का हमको अब भुगतान तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना. Every single day the people of Delhi are suffering. And I don't understand now what sort of a psyche is this to siphon off money. You're willing to sell people's lives to fake medicine.
Okay, let me bring across, let me bring in Neerja Chowdhury here.
More than one person per minute. That's a very critical question.
You do not have facts, Charu. You only have only have drama.
Okay, Neerja ma'am, please come in here. What does this mean for Kejriwal? These very serious allegations, you know, against his flagship project of Mohalla clinics. What does this mean for Arvind Kejriwal as a politician who's worked with people like Aruna Roy to Anna Hazare, his whole Kattar Imandar image, or for that matter, the efforts to push that? And what does this mean for Aam Aadmi Party in foreseeable political future?
Look, as far as the Imandar image, of course, it's seen as more Imandar has been up to a point than other parties, but more or less Aam Aadmi Party today is like any other party. Of course, with certain things to it in its favor, and Mohalla clinics is one of them. Bijli, Pani, government school reform and Mohalla clinics. Those are the showpieces of Aam Aadmi Party, which other parties around the country have studied and wanted to emulate. Now, this is unlike the liquor scam allegation. Liquor scam, most people say, ये तो होता ही है, liquor के धंधे में ये सब होता ही है. So they don't react to it so much. But as far as the Mohalla clinics are concerned, this is a very serious charge. It's like going for the jugular. Now, the question is whether Mohalla clinics have been a showpiece of the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, whether these serious allegations will be believed, is there substance behind them? You know, that there has been a scam in the pathology, radiology, the provision of non-standard spurious drugs. Those are very serious charges, but they'll need to be substantiated. The question also will come, and that's a political question, coming as it does after the liquor scam charges, with 4 of its senior leaders continuing to be in jail without bail being provided for them, with general elections around the corner, has the BJP in the timing of these allegations gone in for an overreach? Could it create a sense of sympathy for Arvind Kejriwal that the BJP is targeting him?
Right.
You know, this is what comes to my mind.
Right.
The
Nitin, would you
timing
like to
of it-
quickly respond to that before I go to Charu on
Yes.
this? Because this is a very critical point that
Definitely,
Neerja ma'am is
definitely.
making,
It
that
is-
this is about people's
I
health.
totally agree. It is about people's health, and I think crores and crores of people are benefiting from Mohalla Clinic. These frivolous charges that Charu right now, without her, homework, she's talking about over here, and I heard Sudhanshu Trivedi also talking about it.
I'm taking
Okay,
offense
yes.
at that, Vasudha. Why is he
I'll just come to you, Charu.
continuously
Just one
remarks?
minute here.
Why is he passing personal remarks?
Okay.
Continuously, there is
Mr. Tyagi, there's no
doing.
need to be personal about this. It's just,
Can he
it's
just
just an
stick to
argument.
the
It's just a
facts and
discussion.
talk about what he
Okay,
needs to
okay,
talk
Charu,
about?
would you like to respond to what Neerja ma'am
And
said?
I
She's also
think-
saying
I
that there's a
think
possibility
absolutely
that
BJP
sympathy
is
might be
trying-
created for
BJP is trying
the
very
case.
hard
I
to
know,
blend
and
the
I
image
think,
of
you
Aam
know,
Aadmi
Vasudha,
Party.
that is
Yes.
the
BJP is
sympathy
trying
we-
very
Let's
hard to
listen to
blend
Charu
the
now.
image
Yes.
of
Trying to
Arvind
ride on.
Kejriwal.
Yes, Charu, yes, please.
Can I speak now?
Yes, please.
I think this sympathy that Neerja ji is trying to talk about right now is what the Aam Aadmi Party is also trying to ride on. That is why they're doing all these pressers and they are saying, "Ji, hum to kattar imandar hai." Lekin in spite of this kattar imandari, the facts and the numbers are stacking up against you. We can't forget that. The Supreme Court refuses to give bail to your ministers. At the same time, I've continuously been asking, how is it that your doctors are examining more than 1.5 patients per minute? How is that even possible, and why is it that no proper replies are coming our way? We deserve answers to these very valid questions.
Right.
Let me
Right,
answer
Charu.
that. Let me answer that.
Any last
Let me
30
just answer.
seconds to you, sir. Would you want to say anything?
Yeah, these facts and figures are actually checked and given. The number of patients that visit a Mohalla clinic per day is not actually the number of people that are being checked by a doctor. There are multiple visits by a patient, and they are also included in that. When the person goes and takes medicines, they go again and again. So
Right.
kindly do not try to divert attention of people with spurious records and statistics.
Okay,
Now,
Neerja
let me
ma'am, the
just tell
last
you one
word
thing.
from you. What does the Aam Aadmi Party need to do right now? Neerja ma'am?
Yeah, Aam Aadmi Party is on the back foot, clearly, with the BJP, coming in full guns against it. And how it meets this challenge, with the buzz in the capital being that Arvind Kejriwal may be arrested any moment. How the public will react to that, how the people of Delhi will react to that, all this is in the realm of the unknown for the moment. But certainly the BJP has decided to go on the complete all-out, whole
Right.
hog against the AAP government. That
Right.
is clear.
Right. Thank you, Neerja ma'am, for joining us. Thank you, Charu, Pragya, and thank you, Nitin, Tyagi, for joining us on this discussion.